Coach Laura here with Run to the Finish. Today we're going to do some exercises that are going to help build up some strength in the hips, the glutes, a little bit of core work, and as we know, running is a single leg sport, right? Each leg has to work individually, so there's no better way to train than single leg work. Sometimes we have one leg stronger, one leg weaker. We don't realize it when we're running or when we're doing just, let's say, squats. So by being able to single out each leg, we can sometimes find those weak spots and definitely work on them. Okay, so I'm going to be barefoot. You can wear shoes, whatever works for you. And we're going to start in a single leg stance. So first, find your balance. I'm standing on my left leg. You can do either one. First, just see how you feel standing on one leg. So if I need to, I can do a couple things. I'm next to a wall. I can use this wall for balance, for a little assistance. I can also use my other foot like a little kickstand. So I can touch down each time I lose balance, right? And I'm going to keep this knee bent. If you want to incorporate some foot strength into that, when you are standing, bend your knees slightly. You don't want to ever be short footing or engaging that arch with a straight leg. That puts a little bit of strain on the meniscus. So we want to keep those knees a little bent, abs engaged. I'm going to spread my toes, and I want to basically really be pressing down between like the foot tripod. So right behind the big toe, the little toe, the heel. And then just give your arch just a little lift. That's all you have to do. Knees are a little bent. I'm going to take off one foot off the ground. I'm balancing. Maybe I need to touch and lift. So let's do both sides. Just kind of get a feel for it. It also just kind of wakes up the senses, wakes it all up to get it balancing and working. Okay, if you're pretty good with this, we are going to add on. So I can take it from the single leg stance into just a little tilt, and then I can come up. A couple things I can do here. If I'm having trouble balancing on one foot, I can tap that foot back, knees a little bent here on the front leg, and I can tap in. This is super effective to get those glutes and high hamstrings kicking in. And maybe I'm not going to be wobbling all over the place, but as I tell my clients, wobble is good. Wobble is fine. And then to do a few on the other side. Find your balance. I've got my knee bent, short foot, abs engaged. I'm going to tilt forward just a little bit and come up. So sometimes just this little action really wakes up everything through the hips and the core. All right, if we're good with that, let's add on to it. So from here, I can take that tilt, and then maybe I'm going to get that back almost parallel to the floor. I can extend that back leg. I can extend one or both arms, and then maybe release the short foot, straighten the leg I'm standing on. And then when you, this is the challenge, is when you come in, bend your knee, bring the arms in, just like how you went into the move, and then we're going to switch sides. Breathe in, exhale, balancing. Start with the tilt. Maybe you're losing your balance. You can touch something. I'm going to extend my leg and my arms, and then I'm going to straighten that leg, release the foot, hold, and then I'm going to bring it in and down just the way I went into it. Sometimes that is the hardest part, is getting out of that movement or reversing it. Okay, so basically that's a lot like the groundwork for deadlifts, single leg deadlifts, okay? So there's a couple things to do. If you don't have weights, I'm going to stand on my right leg, bend my knee, I'm going to pull up through that arch. I can just reach down to the floor and come up with each hand. Okay, so I'm still on my right leg. I'm touching down right hand and left. You could do 6 to 8 taps, then I'm going to switch and do the same thing. Maybe one side's really, really wobbly, so maybe on that side I would tap in and out. Maybe you don't have the flexibility through your spine or your hamstrings, so you just reach down and come up. You can also make it a little more fun. You can pick an object up, like shoes. So I'm going to stand on one foot. I'm going to reach up, pick up the object, set it down, come up, reach down, up, and down. So I did that all on one side, but of course you could alternate. So if I put two objects here, I'm going to go right hand, pick up, left hand, pick up, and then I'm going to go left and right, and now I'm going to switch legs. So I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to just go left and right, then I'm going to set it down right and left. Good. I always like to challenge the brain when I work out, so that means not always starting with the right hand or the right side. I'm right hand dominant, so I like to mix it up and make that left side work a little bit harder. Let's say if you are advancing from those exercises, I can add in perhaps a kettlebell. And there's different ways to do deadlifts. So I'm going to hold this kettlebell in my right hand. I'm going to come down maybe just almost to the ground and then come up. And I can repeat. I can use the wall for balance if I'm losing it a little bit. I can also tap back and tap in. Tap back, tap in, and then I can go to the other side. So any of these deadlift moves that we've gone through that are going to work basically foot and ankle, knee stability, hip stability, balance, glutes and hamstrings. You could do 3 sets of 8. And again, you can vary it. Maybe one day you're going to work on like picking up the object. Another time you're going to add in more weight and do more like a single leg deadlift. Awesome. Okay. So now we're going to come down onto the floor, and I'm going to come onto my hands and my knees like a bird dog position. So, or a tabletop. So I'm going to start here. So when I'm in this position, I want to just keep my back neutral. I'm not letting my back arch or sway too much. I want to kind of keep it tucked in. And then make sure you're not creating tension in the neck and the shoulders. Pull those shoulders down away from the ears. So our bird dog position, I'm going to extend my left leg. I'm going to reach out with my right arm. Right now what's in contact with the floor is my left hand, my right knee, and my right toes. If I want to make this harder, I can lift those toes up off the floor. Try to maintain that body nice and lengthened. And then I'm going to bring it in and I'm going to switch. Same thing here. I've got my right leg going out, left arm, right hand, left knee, left toes touching. Maybe I want to make it more challenging. I'm going to lift those toes up off that back leg and really draw up and in through those abs. And then release and repeat. So you could do this for time. You could hold that bird dog position, maybe 5 or 10 seconds, and then switch sides. I also like, just like we incorporate the feet, with that hand that's on the mat, push into all the digits, the fingertips. So I'm not just using like my dominant ones, which may be the first 3 fingers, but get all the way into that pinky. You'll increase your strength on any of those moves, especially push-ups. Good little tip there. So with that bird dog position, you want to make it harder. You can also come into more of a bear position. So just by lifting everything off the floor is more work, more effort. So I've got my knees up. Now I can also, you can do movements through here, or I can do that same bird dog. So I'm going to extend and hold 5 to 10 seconds. Switch over to the other side, hold 5 to 10 seconds. Okay? So those are really good. Those are contralateral exercises or moves or working opposite sides. Lots of muscles have to kick in and it feels good. While you're in this position, we're going to come back to that tabletop or all fours position, and we're just going to do some little little donkey kicks. So I can stay on my hands and my knees. If you have wrist issues, just come down onto the elbows, no big deal. So I'm going to keep my knee 90 degrees. I'm going to push my heel up towards the ceiling, and then I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to press up, and I'm going to come down. So if I'm on my hands, or even my elbows, what I do want to make sure is that I'm not putting tension into the neck and the shoulders. I can still spread those fingertips, push into the fingertips just a little bit, and up and down. So I could do about 10 to 20 reps here. And then if I want to do a little more time and tension bonus for the glutes, I can do a little pulse up here for 10 more repetitions. Things you want to pay attention to if you have a mirror is not working from the lower back. So I'm not arching every time I'm lifting. It's only the hip, only the glute. Sometimes it helps to go straight leg, so keep that as an option. Or come down onto the elbows and do that lifting. Sometimes that gives you the feeling of having more range of motion. That's sometimes why we arch through the spine, the lower back, is because we feel like we have to lift the leg up higher. So if you lower down the upper body on the elbows, it might feel a little bit better for that. All right, while you're on the ground and you still want to work those contralateral moves, you can also lie pretty much flat on the mat. And in this position here, we can do a couple things. I can still do those glute lifts. I can alternate sides, lifting, lowering, lifting and lowering. If we want to get that contralateral movement, I can go right, left, right, left. So I've got opposite sides lifting, and just kind of feel those muscles working all the way through the spine, into that hip, and into that glute. And if you have an exercise ball or even like a bench at the gym, you could do some of these exercises over that. So maybe you have wrist or shoulder issues. You don't like to put all the weight down onto the wrists and the hands. This is a great option. Just come over that ball. I'm in that same position, and look, I can do contralaterals here. I got a little support through the midsection. I can still up and hold all of that. Or if you're at the gym, maybe you don't want to lie down on the floor. I get it. Use a ball, okay? Exhale, squeeze. Again, not arching through the spine. I can also do those straight leg lifts right here for the glutes. I can do a pulse. I could throw on ankle weights, maybe 3 to 5 or 6 pounds, and make this just a little more challenging. So, what I love are basic exercises that you can learn, perfect, and then build upon, right? So we could start these exercises, just the balancing, just the stabilizing, adding some weight, adding a kettlebell, adding some ankle weights to it, bands, etc. And you have those core basics, and then you just make it fun and you make it more challenging.